Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. We're back with another review for Fruits Basket, but this time episode 9. So we're reviewing Fruits Basket episode 9. I just watched it. Can I just say, this episode gave me... This episode was... I'm still sitting here trying to process all of this. Let's get back to the review. I love this episode. This episode was really good. Again, it was another emotional one. Another one of those, like...
Bring it back. Dial back those tears. Dial back.
It was another one of those tearjerker episodes. So in this episode, Toru and Akito start talking, and Akito's saying, see, you won. You beat me. Do you feel happy? Are you proud of yourself now? And Toru starts to realize that the only reason that Akito is the way she is because she doesn't want to feel abandoned, and she understands completely what that feels like, and she understands completely why she feels like that, because when Toru's father died, she wanted to make sure that her mom didn't leave her. She didn't want to be abandoned by her. She did whatever she could to make sure that her mom would stay, and that one of the things she did was act like her father, Katsuya. So she starts to realize that even when her mom died, she still tried to hold her memory close to her heart, and she tried to make sure nothing changed about how she felt about her. The thing is with that, it causes the issue of that Toru didn't want to move forward because her mom was no longer around. The problem was that she had fallen in love, and I guess for her to accept her feelings for Kyo, she had to move forward and move on from her mom's death. So that was something I think was incredibly powerful that she was talking about, and she realized that what Akito had experienced growing up her entire life, to be held up that high and for no one to need you constantly, consistently, all the time, it's like Toru said, it was just a different form of abandonment. Because if you really think about it, and I guess I'm gonna have to and I know I said I could never love Akito, but gosh, Toru just be changing your mind about shit. Toru really just be changing your mind, and I'm just like, damn, I can't even hate her no more. I really can't even hate Akito anymore, because I just feel guilty. I'm just like, I mean, you did stab Kureno, but come on. So what Akito was going through was basically they were lifting her so high. Like, they were basically putting her on some sort of pedestal, but it's like nobody was her equal, and she had no one to really talk to. Like, if you really think about it, who did she have in her... I mean, she had the Zodiacs, but like at the same time, they had no choice. So did it really feel like a real bond anyways? It probably felt like no one needed her. Her mom didn't need her. Her father was gone. Her mom absolutely hated her. And the Zodiac members didn't want to be cursed. So they didn't care for the bond, even though they were forced to have it. So it's almost like, well, at that point, who really is in your corner? Like, there's really no one there. Like, it's almost, she basically was alone. Like, this entire time, I hate to say it, she was alone. I feel like Toru's right. She basically went through a different form of abandonment, and it's hard to see it at first, but when you watch the episode and you realize, like, she's literally sitting on the edge by herself because she's supposedly a god, and there's no one there by her side talking to her. No one really communicates with her. Everyone's just like doing their thing together with their own group, but not with her. They don't... It's like she's just there. She's just there, and she's supposed to feel special or chosen, but she doesn't. It's almost like she's become like some sort of outsider, and she knows that she has become like an outsider because they're all rejecting her. They're all starting to reject her, and it scares her to be that alone. And then finally she realizes, oh my god, I can't do this. I can't be alone like this. And she admits she's afraid. She's afraid of the world. She's afraid of being alone. And that's a very reasonable fear. I hate to say it. I say this because, like, here's an example. Say if you move out, you know what I mean? You're afraid of the world. You're afraid of what's out there for you. You're afraid of how, you have all these new obstacles you have to face by yourself. Even if you just move out, or you go away to college, or something that just makes you uncomfortable and pushes you out of your comfort zone. She's basically saying she's afraid to get out of her comfort zone because she's been forced to live this life for so long. She doesn't know any other life, and she's uncomfortable being uncomfortable. And I understand. I completely get where she's coming from with that, because it's like if you move out or you go away to school, or anything that forces you to be uncomfortable, you have to learn how to adjust to that environment. But you're afraid that in the process of adjusting to a new environment, people that you meet along the way will start to reject you, and you'll be alone for the rest of your life. That's what, like, I think that's what she was trying to go towards. And I get that, because when you say, if you move out or you go away to college, there is a lot of college students do experience, a lot of people do experience homesickness, because at one point they lived with their family and they were comfortable, they were like complacent, they were comfortable, they were okay with it there, and now they're all alone by themselves in this big world. This world is big, it's very big, and it's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if the people you're going to meet are going to be evil, if they're going to be bad, if they're going to be nice people, if they're going to reject you, use you, abuse you, or do whatever they want. Like, you don't know, and that's scary. That is actually a very scary thought. So I like that she brought that up, because she's right, the world is a very scary place. And Toru says, just start over with me. And that's when things start to roll downstream, because then there's like some sort of mudslide and Toru falls off a cliff. Like, it's just like, this is the most convenient time for this to happen. The most convenient time for this to happen. Finally, someone is accepting Akito. Finally, someone is saying, I accept you for who you are. Let's be friends. We'll start over. We'll start over. Finally, someone is accepting her for who she is, and she falls down a cliff.
Oh my God! Wow!
It's like, okay. It's just like, so Kito's in shock, and she goes to get help, and she bumps into Shigure and Yuki. Yuki immediately runs over to go see if she's okay, and then Kyo hears too, and he comes back and he overhears Shigure's conversation on the phone about Toru falling off a cliff, and he runs immediately to that location, even though he just ran away from her after she confessed her feelings. Like, come on, bro, come on. Even in the last episode, he said, I trampled over your feelings, even though I know in this life we don't get that many chances, because, you never know what will happen tomorrow to people. He even admitted that himself, and I'm just like, you know that, but you're not being honest with your feelings. And he sees Toru on the floor, and she's visibly hurt. It's literally like his nightmares are coming to life, like Toru's gone, like that. He thinks that Toru's dead. And at first I'm just like, yo, is she alive? I'm thinking like, yo, she's gone. And then she starts talking about her feelings towards Kyo. And this segment that she had where she was talking about her feelings for Kyo was definitely an emotional one, because, guys, I can't even stop getting emotional about this. I really had to take a minute before I came on camera, because, whoa, this was just like, it was just a lot. I love the segment where she starts talking about how she feels about Kyo. And it was just so pure, so kind, so sweet, and I just loved it, because she talked about how she was so in love with Kyo, and she didn't even realize it until recently. She also realizes that her feelings for him are actually hurting him, when in reality I don't think they're necessarily hurting them. I just think Kyo needs to learn how to forgive himself and move on and move forward, because the situation that happened with his mom and Toru's mom was not his fault. It was not his fault, and he just can't see it that way, because his whole life he's been blamed for something. He's been blamed for everything, just for existing. So, like, I understand why Kyo sees himself as being at fault for both of their deaths, but neither of them were his fault. And in this monologue that Toru has for Kyo, she's saying that she wants to move forward, even if it means she goes against her mother. She wants to continue to walk beside Kyo, regardless of whether he loves her or not. And that's really powerful, because I don't know how I would feel if someone rejected me, and I just don't think I had the heart to stay. Toru, you better than me. I'm just like, It's like, Tori, you better than me, cause. And at some point, Toru starts walking beside Kyo, and then she stops, and Kyo starts to walk forward past her. She's saying, I want you to keep walking forward, one foot in front of the other. Like, regardless of whatever has happened, I want you to keep moving forward your life. So she's basically saying she wants him to live. She wants him to live a life where he's happy. She wants him, regardless of if she's in it or not, she just wants Kyo to be happy. She just wants the best for Kyo. And she finally wakes up because I thought she was about to go for a second. Yeah, you back? You back? You here? We here? Okay, cool. So eventually Toru ends up in the hospital and we find out that Kurano's doing okay even though Akito stabbed him. And then the episode gets even more intense because Akito goes to the hospital to visit both Kurano and both Toru because, you know, she feels guilty. She feels bad for everything that's happened, and it's mostly because of herself. Momiji sees her sitting there, and he's saying, who are you here to visit? And she doesn't necessarily say, but she says that they should both be mad at her. Both of them should be mad at her. And if they forgive her, they're both idiots. And then Momiji points out something very valid. Well, you know, thanks to those idiots, you won't be charged for your crimes. Idiots do have their uses. I was like, shit, Momiji, ha! Damn, that stung me. What kind of person have you become? I like it. Momiji said everything. I'm sorry. Momiji's like my spirit animal right now in this moment. I'm just like, you like my spirit animal. I'm starting to realize now that I thought Kurano was just doing this to seem like, oh yeah, I'm such a good, like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Kurano was being, like, staying by Akito's side to, I don't know, I guess be like a martyr, but I'm starting to realize that Kurano is kind of like Toru. He's just a good person. Like, he's just, when he sees someone in pain, he wants to stay and help. And it took me till, I'm not gonna lie, this episode to realize that. Hey, I mean, it happened. Like, it took me a minute. Like, I was just like, why are you doing this, Kurano? Why? Why are you hurting yourself? But I didn't realize that Kurano was actually kind of like Toru. Like, he's just a very forgiving person. Momiji sits down next to Akito and tells her the story of the idiotic traveler. And if you guys have watched season 1, which you should watch season 1, Momiji tells the story about the idiotic traveler. It's actually a really heartbreaking story, but when you look at it in the light that Momiji looks at it, it actually makes you feel like the idiotic traveler was genuinely just a kind person like Toru and like Kurano was. What'd you guys think of the episode? I thought the episode was really good. I was really shocked that Kyo didn't go visit Toru in the hospital. I don't know what the hell that's about. What'd you guys think of that kiss scene between Toru and Kyo? I was like, but I was actually kind of annoyed about that because not that I'm mad about it, but I'm just like, you gonna kiss her while she's unconscious? Unconscious, bro. You lucky you fine. You lucky you fine, because that's creepy as hell. But what do you guys think about the episode? I thought it was really good. Like the video. Please share if anybody else likes Fruits Basket. You know, I'm a huge Fruits Basket stan. It's like I say, what's up? I would love to hear your thoughts about what you guys also thought about this episode. I thought it was really good. Comment down below, like the video, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.